folks. This is Dr. Kat Schreier, and welcome back to the Water Show. We have a very special guest with us here today. This is Colorado Water Wells, Tom Day. Tom, say hello.
Good morning, everybody. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody.
So, we're recording this right after during Thanksgiving weekend. We wanted to get together and tell you guys a little bit about some of the amazing work that Tom has been doing. He has been in the groundwater well system space for quite some time and is really passionate about education and helping other people to understand their systems. Tom, tell us a little bit about yourself, what you do, and how you got into this.
So I'm a geological engineer, and I worked as a sales engineer and project manager for 15 years for Lane Western, and then I was a professional consulting engineer for 19 years. And I'm not sure if I got smart or stupid, but a friend of mine and I bought Colorado Water Well back in February of 2018, and so now I'm a contractor once again.
Nice. So who are the kind of clients that you typically work with?
We work with everyone from domestic clients, so just on house wells, to large industrial and municipal wells. We do agricultural well work. And really my passion is helping people operate their systems so that they're efficient and minimize downtime. And it seems like the problems will always be there. And my goal is to help people understand the problems and to solve them.
Fantastic. Well, what are some of the ways that, what are some of the benefits of understanding these problems, and why would someone want to understand their well system better? Why not just, call you guys up, say, go fix this thing for me, right?
Well, I think the goal is there's more wells out there than we can actually work on. So if people have a core understanding of what they have, it helps them. So I've always been more of a visual learner. It's important for me that hands-on experience is important, and people tend to, if they understand something, they actually are better at operating it or operations. When I was a project manager and sales engineer, we always joked that I could sell ice to the Eskimos, but what I couldn't do is I couldn't sell someone something that I didn't truly believe in. So wells have been in my life now since I was a senior in high school, and I've been working on them off and on. And after college, I've been working on them full time for the last, 37 years. So
and you've really done a lot to help others gain a better understanding of wells, right? I mean, you're active in professional associations. You do trainings at professional associations. In fact, I think I have an image here that I can share of something that you've done. Tell us about your work with Colorado Groundwater Association and the programs that you've done.
So Colorado Groundwater Association is again just an association of scientists and also some contractors, but primarily scientists. And I started doing that because it was a good networking opportunity, but also I've just been passionate about wells. So I was the president in 2004, and then president a couple of years ago roped me back in. So I was also president in 2020, 2021, and I'm now current past president. I've done teaching at schools. So I have a working well model that I've taken out to schools and taught. I've worked on monitoring well installation when we do those near schools. I try to get the teachers, the science teachers, to be able to bring the kids out. I think I'm more of a visual person, and I think I've had good feedback on that in teaching children about groundwater and geology. So it's fun.
And you take them to conferences as well, right? And teach adults how these systems work, what kind of problems come up, cavitation, water well, cone depression interference.
Yeah, I've worked with Colorado Rural Water really since I've started, and during my career when I was in Northern California for 7 years, I was also involved with the California Groundwater Association. And the Nevada Groundwater Association. And I enjoy going to those seminars because it gives me an opportunity to learn. And then it also gives me an opportunity to teach what I know. I'll never know everything, but I've met enough people now where I can, if I don't know the answer, I can typically find someone that will help us solve the problem and will know the answer.
Fantastic.
So it's been fun, yeah.
So, so we met actually about a year ago, fall of 2020. I guess that was about the time you started your second round as president of Colorado Water Well. And tell folks a little bit about why you reached out to us when we were doing our survey.
Well, I think that virtual education is important, and unfortunately, it's going to be more and more important. While I'm a hands-on person, I see that society is changing, and also the positive of it I see is you can interact with people far and wide throughout the world. So you really get an opportunity to learn from other people that may have a very similar problem, you know, on the other side of the planet. And collaboration is important. And so when Kat first reached out to me, I was interested in learning more about it. And then when I got involved, I found that we had a core group that started that was from pretty much all over the United States and had come from all over the world. And it was just interesting to learn their backgrounds and learn about them as people and as water educators.
What did you learn? Because I know you were really slammed with work. You had a lot of demands on your time, but you were able to at least get started on the process that we typically take people through of teaching people how to find and connect with, and start to build relationships with people who might be good folks for your upcoming programs. What were some of the things that you got out of the doing that water education program development process that we teach in the virtual water education lab?
You know, I think the biggest thing that I learned is to listen better. While in the past, I've always done teaching programs, and I pick, you know, everybody asks you to pick the topic. And so you, as an engineer or a contractor, you pick the topic that you think you know about, and then you go out and basically force feed people at some of these conferences. There's training units available, so sometimes they're coming to the conference really to get training units, and they're not really interested in learning, unfortunately. But what I learned is how to listen. So I was able to do some interviews with people to start getting ready to figure out what I was going to do programs on, and Kat and everybody else in the class really taught me through a progression of, you know, over and over and over again that I don't know the answer of what do people want out of something. So, and then when I did the interviews with people, it really was enlightening that they were able to tell me what they wanted, and it wasn't really what I had been teaching all along. So it's been eye-opening that way, and it has changed, not drastically, but it's changed what people share. The other thing that I would say is really critical that I've learned is it gives me the opportunity to talk to people and learn what's important to them and why it's important to them. So we may have two operators of a very similar system, as an example, where one is really concerned about the technology and the things that are going on. Another one may be concerned more about the politics of his organization, his or her organization. So the challenges that I think people face aren't always the challenges that they're really facing.
Wow. What was the biggest surprise you had in one of your interviews where somebody says, "Oh my God, I never thought of that"?
I think it was the political discussion. And I interviewed an operator who had been with a municipality for, I think, over 30 years. And he felt and I mean, he was the one that knew the system, but the management team, the city engineer and the city utilities director, they continued to roll over and over and over. So, you know, he felt like he was beating his head against the wall in trying to develop a core maintenance program for the system.
Yeah.
And I had never even envisioned that as a problem. I thought all of his problems were day-to-day problems in dealing with things.
Yeah, it's interesting. We had another, so you were in our very first class. We had a second class in the spring where with a young man who has background in geology, but he grew up working with his family's construction firm, and he's been helping groundwater companies in particular, and he was hearing a lot of the kinds of issues that a lot of the companies that he was talking to, companies like your own, often it's not the technical stuff, right? We just had a conversation about what are some of the biggest challenges that a company like yours and the ones that you work with are dealing with.
Yeah, no, I think that's right. Often it's not the technical challenges. The technical challenges are probably the thing that excites me the most. I've been able to partner with my business partner, and we've been able to spend time and think about how to do things different. We've done things that nobody else has attempted, and sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. When they work, it's great. When they don't work, we learn something and figure out how to make something work after that. So that's been the fun part.
Very cool. Yeah. And, innovation, over the last 10, 15 years, there's been such a push for innovation in the water and environmental space, and for supporting companies that are doing innovative things and tech startups and people doing their Shark Tank pitch fest and things like that. And they're put their little pitch decks together. But, for people who are out boots on the ground, getting things done, a lot of innovation. I mean, we are by nature, we are innovators, right? We get out there, we try things. This is the scientific method at its most basic level. And, I think there's sometimes that tendency to think of innovation as little tech startups when a lot of innovators are just out there getting it done, right?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of that.
Yeah. Fantastic. Well, one of the things that we did with you as far as your surveys is you're still in the process of looking at, identifying the kinds of things that people might be interested in from an expert like yourself in a virtual course that can be taught live. And so if people wanted to participate in a survey and help you out with continuing your education of what they want to be educated on, how can they get in touch with you?
So the simple way to get in touch with me is my email, and it's again tom@coloradowaterwell.com, and the cell phone number is 303-882-3749. I guess I'm blessed in one way that we have an office line, but I'm not in the office very much, so kind of rely on the cell phone these days, and you can virtually work from anywhere. So if anyone has questions or would be interested in a survey that I have out there, it'd be great to learn and see if we can collaborate, and I can help you out and you can help me out.
Fantastic. So it's tom@coloradowaterwell.com.
Correct.
And then we also put together this little website here. So that's at WaterCitizen.org/Colorado Waterwell. And if you go ahead and put your information in there, we're also looking at how we can possibly put something together jointly that can go up in the Water Citizen Academy. So that's kind of the next step after folks have been, working with us on developing their courses. There's some folks for whom that's a great option. I think it's so important that we capture the expertise of folks like yourself who are really busy, doing the work, but have that practical hands-on experience that it's different from what you can get, say, going to a university professor and, they kind of teach from FED or what the old textbooks or something like that. Suppose someone is out there in the field right now, seeing what's going on, seeing what's changing, using, testing out the new technologies as they become available and figuring out what's going to work best for folks, right?
Yeah. Well, and we're a small company, so we're looking to grow, and we're looking to continue to move the ball forward on technology and just operations and maintenance of well systems, be it for your house well or for large municipal irrigation or large municipal wells. So
yeah, and the more you can do, folks, to take care of your own well, especially when COVID first hit and suddenly people couldn't have people come out to their houses, and so just that idea of having some kind of ownership, having some kind of understanding of how your own systems work before you have to call someone out, or even being able to have someone get on a Zoom call and help you diagnose the problem before driving all the way out there to figure out if it's a simple fix or if they need a complete replacement or what the issue is. Is that right?
Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for taking time on Thanksgiving weekend to join us here today and talk to us about your experiences with educating people on their water systems. And if any of you out there are interested in developing your own virtual education program, go ahead and check us out at watercitizen.org/water leader lab for the virtual water education lab. Got another class coming up. And Tom, is always a pleasure to talk with you. It was fantastic working with you. Really enjoyed seeing how you really lit up as you started to reach out to people and just get new perspectives and new ideas on how to do even more than all the fantastic work that you're already doing in water education on groundwater.
Well, thanks, Kat, and thanks for starting WaterCitizen.org. I know it was a big stretch for you to reach out and start it. So without people that are willing to take chances and risk, we wouldn't have it. So thank you, and it's been a great program. I think you might think you know what it's going to be about, but until you get into it, you don't know, and until you meet the people that are in the class with you. So if you have the opportunity and the ability to, I think it's always a good thing to do. So thanks, Water Citizen.
Thank you. All right. Thanks, folks. Take care. We'll see you again on the Water Show.